Alright, so I've been playing with my team here quite a lot. I've noticed quite a few flaws with it. Not really flaws, just I've noticed my team's weak to quite a few things. One of the main things it's weak to is Landorus, because I don't really have anything that can switch in on it. If they predict correctly, because Sludge Wave 2 it kills Rotom Wash, Hin Power Ice kills my Landorus, and Earth Power of course kills Heatran. So Earth Power does like 60% to Mega Sableye, even if it's got a Calm Mind under it. So I have a lot of trouble with Landorus. So I'm not really sure how I should go about preparing for Landorus, because there's a lot of other threats I'm still trying to deal with. The other few the other things are water types, most notably Azumarill and Keldeo. Um, Azumarill isn't usually a problem because as long as I keep Rotom, and Keldeo usually is a problem if it's got if it's like specs with Scald, Secret Sword, Icy Wind. That's usually a problem. If it's Calm Mind, they usually don't carry Icy Wind, so Dragonite should be able to take care of it, but they usually... I think Specs is a bit more common, to be honest. Specs, or maybe even Scarf sometimes, but if they predict correctly with the Keldeo set, then I do have trouble working around that one. And then the last thing is Charizard. And the thing with Charizard is both Charizards could give my team trouble, especially if they do stuff correctly. I'll have trouble working around it because Charizard Y, Focus Blast does like just under 50 to like just under 60 in that range of damage. So Heatran can take one and set up rocks, and of course prevent Charizard really from coming back in very well. Because if it has Roost, it most usually won't have Focus Blast, which will mean it's not a problem because Solar Beam, Air Slash, Fire Blast aren't usually a problem. But if they have Roost, they probably won't have Focus Blast. And if it's Charizard X, it's just stupid because Charizard X is broken and OP anyway. So those are the main problems that I've found with my team. I'm thinking I do need to make Rotom physically defensive. I've kind of realized that, just because the thing with Rotom is you still OHKO, what's it called? Landorus. You still have like a pretty decent chance at OHKOing Landorus. There we go, bold. As well as dealing significant damage to Azumarill, it's like 60%. As well as dealing significant damage to like Keldeo, which is like 60%. So I think it's much better to put it as physically defensive. Run with these EVs. Heatran, I might switch Taunt, and it might seem crazy, but I want to use Ancient Power because most things that I have trouble with my team with, Rock is better coverage because Earth Power doesn't hit Talonflame or Zard. So as weird as it sounds, I want to run Ancient Power. As weird as that sounds. The alternative to that is me running Earth Power or running Protect. So I think I'll start with Earth Power for a bit, and depending on how things go, I might change the Heatran set, might change the EVs a little bit. Make it a bit more offensive. Might change the moves, like I said, to deal with Talonflame, because if it's like Swords Dance Talonflame, they don't really care about Heatran. They can just Swords Dance on it all day. And I guess at plus, because like Lava Plume's not going to do too much, and then at +6, I guess they can Brave Bird, and it won't do. I don't know, probably won't do too much, to be honest, but I guess I'll roll with these, and I think I'll run the 8 speed so I can outspeed other Heatrans. Maybe even 12 just to be cheeky. Yeah, let's go with that. So I'll outspeed other Heatrans. I think that's all the changes I might need. I might even be... Oh, yeah, I'm changing this to Rock Slide. Because I've missed too many times, and Rock Slide is pretty much just there to hit, like, Charizard and Talonflame anyway. Or, like, I guess Thundurus. But it's there to hit things that would probably die to Rock Slide anyway, because they're, like, quad weak to it. So I think Rock Slide's the better move. Might even be real crazy and change it to Hidden Power Ice. Because it is a decent special attack stat, and as long as it can OHKO other Landorus, like Landorus T, Landorus I, as long as it can OHKO those, and even Gliscor, actually, it would be definitely nice to hit Gliscor, as long as it can kill those things. I think Hidden Power Ice would be a great move. I will have to look into that, though. I'm not really sure about it right now. But basically, the reason I've had kind of trouble with this team is my two favorite types of playstyles, and the two ones I'm most used to, are balance and hyper offense. And balance, you kind of have a decent switch in to most things in the meta, and hyper offense you just don't switch pretty much at all. So this is a bulky offense team, so it's a lot more offensive than I'm used to playing with balance, and it's a lot more bulky than I'm used to playing with hyper offense. So I think the trouble is I'm trying to get used to playing this kind of playstyle, because sometimes I play it with the mindset that I'm playing a balanced team, and it's not really a balanced team. I think I have to accept that sometimes when I play, that it is really just a bulky offense team, and I can't play it assuming I can switch in on everything, you know? But yeah, that's the team. I think I have a couple videos that I'll throw up, and I guess I'll do those now. Okay, so here's a battle that I have. It is a replay of a battle that I had just a little while ago. So I'm doing a post commentary to it. Looking at his team, don't really know what he wants to lead with. He could lead with Zapdos to do the whole Volt Switch shenanigans. He could lead with Heatran to set up Stealth Rocks. And he could lead with Bishop to predict my Landorus lead and get the Defiant boost. And he could also lead with a Azumarill to predict my Sableye lead. So we'll just jump into it. I guess I'll slow it down. Just lead with Rotom, because Rotom's a good lead against most things on his team. He leads with Latios. I'm going to go straight into Heatran. Can't have Rotom taking any unnecessary damage. So there's a good chance just to get my Stealth Rocks up, and he's going to go straight into Azumarill. I'm going to go into Rotom, and as we can see here by the damage that he does with Waterfall, that resisted hit, it's got to be choice banned Azumarill. There's no if and or buts about it. That's definitely choice banded. He goes into Heatran, which is kind of awkward. Like, he was obviously predicting the Volt Switch, but if I'd gone for Hydro Pump, just for some reason, then he would have been in a really bad position. But I mean, I was obviously going for Volt Switch, so he had no reason not to. Just going to U-turn on the Heatran because he's not staying in. I'm going into my Heatran now because not only can Zapdos not really touch me very well, but if he wants to defog, he can get rocks back up. I get paralyzed first turn, but that didn't really matter, I guess, because I was expecting the defog anyway. So here's the defog. I get the Toxic off, and now I can spam Stealth Rocks until he dies or switches, basically. So he switches, and I don't get paralyzed this turn, so I get my Stealth Rocks. He goes into Heatran, I guess thinking, if rocks have to be on my side of the field, then yeah, they're going to have to be on your side of the field as well. So I go into Dragonite in before rocks. I go for the Dragon Dance. No reason not to. And he gets the first turn burn with Lava Plume. So basically, I can't risk the second burn, so I do have to attack this turn, and also I don't really want to risk if he's got like Roar or something, but the biggest thing is I didn't want to risk getting a second burn, so Earthquake's going to take it out. I didn't really want to switch on this thing, so I just wanted to get some massive damage onto the Azumarill, which I do. It takes me out, but that's perfectly fine. I go into Scissor after. Again, we know he's choice banded, and this still has a lot of utility, so he's going to switch, and I'm going to be able to get a U-turn off. Still does good damage, even though it's resisted, and he can't switch, so I'm pretty sure the only thing on my team that was faster than him was my Landorus, so I wanted to kill it. I didn't want it to roost or do anything or get a last minute defog off, so I just went into this to outspeed and did not want to miss the Stone Edge. I was afraid of either Bishop or Azumarill coming in and, being threatening, but he just goes into Mega Venusaur because I can't knock that off, which is a bit relieving, but because I can go right into Heatran, and I kind of want to scout for the Earthquake. And also don't. If he doesn't have Earthquake, he's not going to stay in. If he does have Earthquake, he is going to stay in. Either way, Heatran doesn't really want to be staying in there. I predict wrong. He goes into Azumarill, and I want to get the hell out of there quickly. And I go into Heatran, and he goes into Latios, and that's actually works out perfectly for me. He just starts going for Thunderbolts, which is perfectly fine. I get paralyzed this turn, which kind of sucks, but doesn't matter in the long run. Goes for another Thunderbolt. I do manage to get the Toxic off this time, and I make a bit of a ballsy play that did not work out for me. I go into Landorus, and he predicts that very nicely and goes for Psychic. I was assuming he was gonna have Psy Shock instead of Psychic as his stab move, because they usually carry that, and I could take a Psy Shock because I'm not defensive, because it's got good bulk. I go into Sableye to bait the Draco Meteor, because that's basically what he has to go for. Gonna sack Heatran because it's not really of much use anymore. He's now at -2 special attack, so I can pretty safely go into Rotom. And we know he's going to die to Toxic right here. He doesn't have a move that can kill me. He's forced to go for a Draco. That does not kill me right there. And I'm able to get my rest off. And procced back up to full. And Chesto Berry brings me up. So that's nice. It doesn't actually end up really mattering in the end. I mean, at the same time, it kind of does, because I needed to get the Will-O-Wisp off on this thingy, which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to Volt Switch into Sableye, because I think I can take this better than I do, but this Giga Drain does a lot more than I was hoping it would. However, Mega Sableye does have really good bulk, so as you'll see, I take that second Giga Drain quite nicely. So that's good. He's going to Sludge Bomb here, hoping for the poison, which he does not get. And the second Giga Drain wouldn't have taken me out anyway. And I make a pretty good prediction here. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to switch. Because if you went to Azumarill, it would die. I could have Shadow Balled the Azumarill, but if he wanted to switch into Bishop, I wanted to catch that with the Will-O-Wisp as well, which he goes into now, and Knockoff does not do enough. I can get the Will-O-Wisp off this turn, and he's going to go for Iron Head. He is going to get the flinch, and he's going to try to take me out with the knockoff this turn, but it's going to do significantly less than it did the first time because he's now burned, and I am going to be able to pretty much spam recover, which is very nice. He's going to switch because he sees that he's not really doing anything, and brings in his Venusaur because he hasn't seen Calm Mind yet, so in theory it seems that he could still win out on the Sableye, but I am going to start Calm Minding here, and barring crits, Sableye is just going to wall out. He does get a crit there, which seems like it could suck, because if he gets a second crit right now, he could kill my Sableye, but without a crit, at +2, Giga Drain is going to do very little, so I'm going to get the recover up, and he's going to forfeit because, I mean, other than that, it would just be a stall fest. I would just be going for recover. I was going to start attacking now, but honestly, it is just a bit of a stall thing. So no harm done for him forfeiting there. And it was a pretty fun game. I did kind of enjoy it. I made a few predictions that went good and a few predictions that went bad. But yeah, I enjoyed that game.